Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast, where we talk about the gaming industry and how it affects us as gamers and consumers. Hey, everybody. Episode 3 Gaming Podcast from Graybeard. I am Scott. I got with me Liam, and today we're going to talk about Starfield's new patch that's coming out. Has some goodies in that. We got a Diablo patch that's dropping. We've got some information on Xbox's, well, I guess Sans E3 stuff that's coming up in June. And then we got some Helldivers stuff to talk about, which is going to be a little crazy. And then whatever else just kind of rolls off the top of our head. So let's get started. Liam, how is it going, man? How you been doing?
Yeah, doing all right here.
Yeah. Have you watched Fallout yet? Because if you haven't, I'm gonna mute you.
Okay, mute me then. Sorry, I got stuck in Diablo and playing that, so I need to find to watch TV shows properly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So we've got a new patch coming it's this month. It's in May, correct?
Yes, May 14th.
Yeah, and it's the loot, save the loot or something of that effect.
Loot Reborn, I think they called it.
Loot Reborn, yeah. So this is where they're going to be like, sorry for screwing up this thing for over a year. Here, have some goodies. So what are we expecting from that? Like, what's the big take on this? I know it's got to have something to do with loot, obviously.
Yeah, they are reworking loot and like masterwork loot now. You can re-roll your affixes on your loot, so you don't have to like get a different item of loot to get the sort of stats that you want. You can also re-roll that item as many times.
That's nice.
It's a lot easier to get items, like get materials.
Yeah.
And just easy to level up as well. Like in level, I think it's World Tier 3 and 4, you get Helltides, which will be in the first World Tier and second World Tier. So they bring everything basically to like a base level, and you can just level up. Not so much about the leveling, but the actual getting the gear that will be on this patch.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, it's kind of sounds like what Destiny is doing a little bit unofficially. I've been playing some Destiny 2 lately, and I played a strike today and got 3 exotics on a strike.
Oh, wow.
Just a regular strike. Yeah, so I think Diablo is kind of doing this. It sounds like they're doing the same things. Like if you've got some gear that you like, you can now upgrade it and get into that high-level gear with the stuff that you like, as opposed to trying to, just get to the highest peak
and
of that level gear, right?
Yeah, you can also trade a lot more because as it stands, you can only trade like rare gear, as opposed to like legendary items. You can't. But yeah, new season you'll be able to trade everything, so it's a lot more open. And yeah, there's a lot of other things that are just reworking. So it is basically Diablo 4 2.0 or Diablo 5.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it.
Yeah, I haven't really played. It came out, last June? Yeah, it was last June. I really haven't played a lot at all since probably August-ish. So man, it's not even like on the top of my brain right now as far as like the inventory and everything. I just remember you get to about level 35 or close to level 40 and you get nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Everything that you would get was just extremely lower than what you got, and it forced you to start leveling up your gear and then start like seriously grinding for all that stuff. So if they're trying to kind of round that off and make it a little easier, man, that sounds really good.
They also want to buff characters, so they're quite happy to have broken builds even more, which sounds really fun.
Yeah.
So just have fun with your gear, basically. Is what
yeah, exactly. Man, that's I don't know why it takes so long for these guys to get it. I guess it just takes a community and feedback, I feel like it's the same thing with Destiny 2. I was playing with somebody else and we were like, are we having fun? And it's like, yeah, I think we're having fun. It's like, we're playing Destiny 2 and we're having fun. Look what I got. What did you get? I got this. Oh man, I remember that gun. So they're bringing back stuff and it feels good. I mean, when you play and you're having fun and then you're rewarded for it, that's what it's all about. It's all about just, it doesn't take much. It's not a lot of science. You don't have to hire people for that build slot machines to to make something fun and loot based. It just doesn't. So, yeah, that's exciting. Well, I am currently downloading it, so I will be jumping back in when that thing hits.
My season basically finished now because
yeah,
I helped a friend and he got addicted. So yeah, we'll definitely do more going forward. And
okay.
yeah, really look forward to the patch now. I
Well,
actually beat Uber Lilith as well.
oh
So,
wow, jeez,
we had a party of people because yeah, she's one shot shooting every other attack basically.
yeah, man,
You need broken builds to beat her.
wow. Okay, well then when I jump back in, I'm gonna have to get you to help me, level up some
Yeah,
stuff,
definitely.
get back into it. Um, we also got some news for Starfield. Starfield is getting a patch. It is the 1.11.33 patch on May 15th, and it came with some pretty hefty news. I know you've seen this, and I'm going to start with the console. Um, we both agreed that the wording on this is a little strange, but I think it just boils down to it's getting 60 FPS on the consoles. Well, let me phrase that. It's getting 60 FPS on the Series X, not the Series S. So this is their wording. They say, let's see, we highly recommend a variable refresh rate display running at 120 hertz, and to verify your Xbox is set up to use it. If you have it set up this way, Starfield will now default to a frame rate target of 40, which while keeping the priority for full visuals. So that sounds like to me that if you've got a either a monitor or a TV that has VRR and is capable of 120 hertz, then it's basically gonna look exactly the same. It's just gonna be 10 more frames per second, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean if you know between 30 and 40, 40's better than 30. It does still feel a little bit better.
Yeah,
Especially if you're on the PC
anything
side.
anything would be better on the FPS side anyway.
Right, right. I mean, I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and good grief, man. Uh, in a lot of the towns, it is, I mean, I'm getting like 35 to 45 frames per second, sometimes dipping into like 28s. And it's playable, but you kind of get used to it. It's really the only thing I can say. So I know what that 40 feels like. It's definitely better than 30. However, they also say frame rate target. You can now choose between 30, 40, 60, or an uncapped frame rate on VRR displays, which this is awesome. If you don't have a VRR display running 120 hertz, you will still be able to select 30 or 60. Screen tearing may occur at times when selecting 60 on a non-VRR display. So yeah, they're weighing heavily on that variable refresh rate. So I guess if you don't have a newer TV or if you're not playing on a gaming monitor, you're not really going to get much of this benefit.
I think the 60 FPS might be an overpromise, like if they're leaning heavily into VRR.
Yeah.
So maybe it's more so like 40 to 50 FPS than just straight out 60, or
right.
It could be 60 and then you can take it to like a city and it might
exactly.
drop.
Yeah, uncapped means sounds great. I mean, it is great, but it is very dependent. On the PC side, I'm playing the beta patch, so I have all of this right now that they've got on Steam. But since they've added DLSS, I mean, when the game came out, I was running a reasonable amount of graphic options, and God, getting like anywhere from 30 to 54, sometimes a little bit over 60. But it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Now I'm getting anywhere from 70 to 90, and it looks amazing. It looks really good. So if you can kind of look at that and compare it to like an Xbox Series X, if you've got a variable refresh rate display, 60, maybe hitting above 60 in areas and a little bit below 60 in areas, it still feels a lot better than 30. But options are always good. So if you've got these options, if it doesn't feel right, or if it's, even if you've got the right display and you don't like that variable, frame rate where it dips and, or whatever, you can go back to 30. I mean, it's a 30 solid FPS right now. So anyway, I mean, they give you options, even though, Todd Howard said, this is our decision. It's a what did he call it? Creative decision. That creative decision turned into a new patch. So, yeah, that's just corpo speak for it's not optimized yet.
Yeah, I have to wonder really about games sometimes. Like, it's doing a rock and hard place, I think, in industry, because if this got optimized further and maybe come out the end of this year,
yeah,
it would have been received better frame rates, better content, because they're doing like DLC this year.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, people are like, "Oh, where's the game?" Because it takes 10 years to make. So,
right. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you've got to get it out there, but sometimes I guess whether it's ready or not.
We complain about broken games, but then if that game doesn't release, we also complain.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there has to be a compromise somewhere.
Well, I've learned that if a game's delayed, it's delayed for a reason, and it's most likely you're going to get a better game if it's delayed, right? I mean, we've seen that before, but again, Battlefield 2042 was delayed when it came out. It's still just a hot pile of garbage. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to distinguish that. Like Halo Infinite getting delayed an entire year. What would that have been if it had come out in 2020?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we don't know, but man, what a mess. So but you're right though. I mean, this sounds more like what it should have. It's got some other features too. It does have the improved service map. So I can say this is. This is great. This is awesome. Now, if you haven't played Starfield, or if you have, when you land on a planet and you go into a city, there's no map. There's no map for, like you would say if you were playing Skyrim and went to Whiterun, and when you go in that area, your map now turns into Whiterun map, and you can tell if you've been to these vendors or if you talk to these people, they're all there on the map. Well, they didn't have that. They didn't have that at all. It was just a map of just an empty space with a diamond shape that said where you were. Now it actually has a three-dimensional top-down view of where you are and what area you're in, giving you markers and everything so that you can find what you're looking for and you won't get lost. So that is, man, that I think we can all agree that should have been there at launch, but it wasn't. So they added it. It's there. Everybody can be happy now.
I started Starfield and I didn't get very far into it, but
yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like if you're on,
Yeah.
That first city that you go to, New Atlantis, and you hit your map, you're like, where's the map? Yeah.
Yeah, not much there. But I knew that it would be, improved later on, and DLC later on, and mods later on, and so I thought, I'm not getting gripped into it, so I'll just wait until it gets improved. And yeah, that's what's happening, really.
Yeah, I really wish I had waited. I played the game, I finished it, and I really haven't been back. I installed it. I saw that the beta patch was on Steam, so I downloaded the beta patch, and I wanted to see what the settings were and all that kind of stuff. They did add a contrast slider in the PC version, which it desperately needed, because I don't know why they do this, but there is a filter in this game that puts a colored filter on whatever planet you're on, or if you're in your ship, and it just makes everything look so dull. I mean, absolutely dull. Now you can download a mod that takes it off, and when you see it with it off, it looks amazing. The game really looks good. But with it on, it just looks like garbage. Like the night sky is not even black. It's like a close to navy blue. So they've added this a contrast slider that does help with that a lot, but it doesn't add anything to get rid of that stupid filter. So I'm not running any mods or anything on it. I wanted to see this patch and what it added. So I'm just kind of dipping back in for, prosperity. But one good thing that they did that I do like, and I think a lot of people were like this, is they've added a toggle for the dialogue. So when you go up and when you click on somebody and talk to them, it kind of zooms in on them. No matter where you're standing, it kind of just zooms in on the front. Well, it doesn't do that anymore. You just click on them and they turn around and they start talking to you, like every other RPG. So yes, that is a welcome feature right there.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a lot better.
Yeah, because that was just really weird. Like it just kind of throws you out of it. Oblivion did that, and well, all their games kind of do that. It kind of like focuses in on the person you're talking to, and after a while, you don't really notice it. But when you change it, it feels a lot better. So
I think a lot of RPGs did that, but when it comes to like important dialogue, especially like a dialogue-based game, say for example Mass Effect, there's a lot of dialogue between people that would be a close-up. But if you're just talking to people, that wouldn't happen.
Right, exactly.
In general, only for like missions, like special missions, would that happen? Not just like talking to NPCs in the town.
Yeah. I didn't have to zoom in on somebody that I was asking directions for, things like that. Yeah. But there's also a slew of there's a whole list of fixes. The gameplay fixes and additions is vast. I'm not going to go through all of them here, but as far as visual quality, stability, frame rates, everything is improved. Everything is improved. I even just moving around, it feels like it's got a little bit of polish on it. So if you were waiting to play Starfield, or if you played it and especially on PC, the performance was just kind of crap, then this is the time to get it. So I have had some weird little glitches here and there. This is a beta patch. It's not version 1.1133. So when that rolls out on the 15th, I'll update it and see the difference and stuff. Maybe have some news
just
for
Bethesda anyway.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was even with some of the bugs, it's like, playing Starfield when it first came out, it just I didn't have any game breaking bugs. There were bugs, but nothing like Oblivion, nothing like Starfield or Fallout, where you talk to someone and they just like shoot straight up in the air and then you can't talk to them. Or
yeah, I mean, for like a stability point of view, Starfield was definitely the most stable launch they had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It still wasn't finished, but well.
Well, true, and I wonder if that, if them just having it on Xbox and PC was a contributor to that, not having to yet develop it for PlayStation. Maybe that.
Yeah, because that's what they did say as well, because they never had a great relationship with PlayStation before, especially on the PS3, because that was terrible.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, so they weren't really big fans of PlayStation. That's probably helped them to focus on just fewer machines and just PC and Xbox.
Yeah,
it probably helped them.
Yeah. The PS3 version of all their games was, well, I mean, let's be honest. The PS3 was very difficult to develop for. It wasn't probably entirely their fault, but those were definitely the weaker versions of those games.
Yeah. But even like PlayStation 4 and 5, the mods, Sony were very restrictive on the mods.
Yeah, there's one thing that you can't mod and it keeps you from. Yeah, you can't get any of the good mods. You can get like a chest plate that's a different color. It's like you don't get like, how about this vast, improve visuals or an entire new location with new voice actors and new characters, and no, Sony goes no. So yeah, but we'll see. Maybe this is going to be probably the last patch before, or last big update before is it Shattered Skies? I think the DLC comes out later this year. Shattered Space, yeah. So yeah, we'll see where that comes out, and And we'll talk about the PS5 deal a little bit later. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do with this. I can't see myself doing another playthrough, but I will definitely dip back in to see what they do with that. All right, cool. Now I want to talk about this. I want to get this out of the way because this is huge and should be filed under our WTF folder. But you've heard about what's going on with Helldivers 2, right?
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Miss.
This is nuts. So I'm gonna tell you my experience first. I got Helldivers 2 day one. It comes up and it says it does not say you require it. It said log into your PSN account, and then at the bottom of it, if I remember right, it just said either like later or decline or basically you could just skip it. Well, I skipped it. I do have a PSN account. I have a PS4 and a PS5. I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I'm playing on Steam. I'm on PC. I don't want to log into my PSN account. So I skipped it, much like apparently everyone did. So if you do not have a PSN account, you would have to click on it and then go to their website and sign up for a PlayStation account to play, to get, I guess, trophies and stuff like that. Nobody did that. So now, 2 months later, Sony just comes up and says, this is now required. So to play Helldivers 2, even if you bought it on Steam, on PC, it is required that you have an account with PlayStation. Okay. So I know that you're not, this game is not available to you.
Yeah.
But before I go through all the Twitter stuff, what do you think about this? Does this bother you?
When I first saw it, I was like, I didn't think it was that big a deal. When I first saw the issue come up, I was like, well, isn't every game like this now? You're going to have an account, a launcher, or something.
Yeah.
With basically every other game. On PC or console, you're going to have 50 accounts.
Yeah.
Cross players here and, and that's good, but, that's usually how it works now. So I thought it was, a complete overreaction. But now when you actually look into it, there's actually legitimate reasons why this is really bad for PC.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the major ones is that you can't create a PlayStation Network account in, I think it's up to 170 regions. Not necessarily countries, but regions. And I'm looking at the list of them right now, and it's kind of strange. Grenada, Georgia, Albania, Afghanistan, Antarctica. Okay, I'll give you that one. But Sri Lanka, was it? I think I saw Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, Tunisia. There's a ton of them. Ukraine. I saw a guy on Twitter that posted his his interaction with Sony, and this is where the big deal comes from. Okay. There's a lot of people on Twitter, and there's a lot of discussion. It's like, oh, PC gamers are a bunch of whiny babies, blah, 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 blah. What's a big deal about another account? Okay. It's really not that big a deal. If you go right now and you go on Steam and you say get State of Decay 2, okay, which is owned by Microsoft. When you log into that, it tells you on Steam you're going to need an Xbox login to play this game. So if you don't have one, which if you're on PC, you probably have one. It's your Microsoft account. Right? Not that big a deal. So you log into that and then you're fine. Okay. And then when you play anything by Ubisoft, you log into that account when you play. The difference is that it's there at launch. It lets you know at launch that this is required. And you can base your purchase on if you want to create an account or not. Problem number one is Sony's security for their data is lackluster comparatively to other companies of their nature. They get hacked. It seems like every year they're getting, a data hack. And in 2011, I think it was like 170 million customers lost their data.
The big PS3 data breach at the
Right.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then since then, there's the latest one was in October, which I think affected 60 million. So that's something to consider for one, especially if you're on PC. Okay, and then the second one is that the countries that are being pulled from this, they right now don't have an option to get a refund. They bought a game, and if they don't create an account, they can't play it. Well, if they can't create an account, period, then they can't play it. Meaning, this guy from Ukraine tried to create an account, and he couldn't. So he contacted Sony support, and he posted his support on Twitter. And what basically it said is that I'm trying to create an account. This is the area that I live in, and they came back and said that is not available in your region. You can only create an account and sign in with a PS4 or PS5. And he verified, so I have to have a console to log into this account, to create this account. And they said correct. So that guy is just shit out of luck. He can't play his game that he bought as of Monday. So he can't create an account unless he goes out and buys a console. Now, of course, who's going to do that? But this is the problem, and this is why a lot of these PC gamers are upset. I'm upset for them. You know what? One of the regions is that you can't that they're blocking. Japan. Like, you can't play this in Japan. If this is accurate, this is a list that, somebody has compiled all the. I don't understand that. So it's not so much as like, oh, you just need to make an account. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it actually really is, because all of these people cannot play this, a game that they bought on Steam, because of this account. Now, I really think that this is going to change. I don't know if it's going to change before May 6th, but all of these regions that you can't, that you have to have a console to create an account, Sony has pulled Helldivers 2 from those regions. They've pulled it off the Steam. Like what? Like you can't buy it, obviously, because you can't play it. So, what the hell, man? Seriously, why? What is Sony even thinking? Now, luckily, Arrowhead, the developers of this, are apologizing. This is a Sony decision. I don't know what their involvement is in this, but it was mandatory by Sony, and they're telling people, go to our Discord. Sony does not read Discord. You go to their Discord, and they're telling them, review bomb the shit out of our game. It will make it. Hopefully, it will make Sony notice, hey, this is not cool. So they're actually telling people to review bomb their game on Steam.
Wow, didn't actually know that one.
Yeah, this is, it's like guerrilla warfare against their publisher. It's like, psst, come here. Go and just sabotage this whole thing. So it just, man, I hate it. I hate it. It's crappy for everybody. And if anybody's listening to this that's solely on PlayStation and just wondering, what the big deal is, hopefully that will shed some light on you. So stop going to Twitter and telling everybody that PC gamers are just whiny babies. It's not.
I'm actually genuinely shocked at how many countries or regions Sony doesn't support. Considering how big PlayStation is.
I know. I had no idea.
I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. And you read it, it's like, what? What do you mean it's only those countries that they support?
Yeah,
the world that
doesn't
have it. It's like,
well, it's not just that. It's that you have to physically have a console and log in with that console to create an account in those countries. Like, it's not available you can't just go to a website and create an account. How is that even?
That shocked me. I thought they were way bigger than that.
Yeah.
In terms of PlayStation network coverage and regions. Yeah.
Well, not just that. I thought they were more competent than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a telltale sign of, what's going on, in there. So it's basically
like Microsoft. We, as I said, we say Microsoft. We don't think about it because it's just Windows and Microsoft's everywhere.
right.
A lot of the publishers are. So even though we're making accounts, it's usually not a problem.
Right.
So yeah, for this to blow up like this, it's been crazy just to see the downfall in a week.
Man. And they had it so good. They got a good game. It's on Steam. The majority of the players and copies sold are on PC. And if that doesn't tell you that Sony needs to lean more heavily into PC, then I don't know what will. But pulling something like this, man, that's just crap. And if it was mandatory at the very beginning, for me personally, it was kind of expected. It being a PlayStation game. I thought, oh, well, if I sign into this PSN account, it probably guarantees me that I'm going to be able to play with people on PlayStation and PC. So
yeah, that's what you think. And I'm pretty sure they were supposed to have the actual login mandatory at first, but their servers busted halfway through, so they just left it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't there at launch, even though I think they wanted it to be. But I think, who was it now? I think, was it Sucker Punch? It does Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a PC port coming out as well.
Right.
And they said, don't worry, you don't need a PSN login for single player.
Yeah, I saw that. And now multiplayer you do, but single player they're not. Yeah. They're not requiring it. Yeah.
So yeah, but you can play this game without connecting online.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even that again, that's not really that big of an issue. I mean, and again, that should be somebody's choice. It's like, do you want to create a Sony account? No. Well, then you can't play this game. Well, crap. Okay. Well, then my convictions are keeping me from having some fun. I mean, this Helldivers 2 uses a anti-cheat that is known to be kind of crappy and a little evasive. And even I was like, do I want to, play this? And yeah, I got the better. I bought it anyway. Had a lot of fun with it, but I don't think I've seen a publisher just railroad one of their most popular games like that. It just, and I'm telling you, man, I've been telling people this for years, and nobody seems to listen. But we need to stop giving Sony, this pass, this card, or whatever they're using to not get ridiculed for shit like this. I mean, it's not acceptable. It's really not.
And considering that the next projects are live service, this is not a good look right now.
They need to fix this
upcoming
right.
Games.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the login. I don't have a problem with the login. I'm talking about these countries that, like you can buy a PS5, but you can't play their PC game. That's not right. I mean, and the only thing I can think of is there's some kind of legality or something that goes in with that. I don't know. I mean, there's so many countries. How can it be? I mean, they all have their own different laws. I don't know there's a deeper problem there that we probably may never know or understand, but nobody else seems to have a problem with it. Ubisoft doesn't have a problem with it. EA doesn't have a problem with it. Microsoft doesn't have a problem with it. Why does Sony have a problem with it? And if I get Ghost of Tsushima on PC, which I might, if it has a login, I have a PSN account, I don't mind logging into it. I don't. As long as it's there at launch and it says, hey, if you want to, that's cool with me. But 2 months later, I just don't get it. It just seems very suspect, and if anything, they want those accounts to bolster their numbers for PlayStation, so it shows they're growing.
Of course, that's
so they
why.
can right. So they go, hey, look, shareholders, look at all these accounts we just got.
Yeah.
Instead, they're going to have to come. They're going to have to explain why Steam is giving reviews for these people that can't play it anymore. I mean, not reviews, sorry, refunds for these people that can't play it after tomorrow, after Monday. Jeez. This is what keeps the gaming industry interesting for me, at the same time a little heartbreaking. Just to see this, man, we just want games that are fun. We can play with our friends.
We want to play games. Let's play.
We will be happy to give you our money if it's just stop trying to rip us off and have these just incredibly stupid anti-consumer issues. So yeah, that's our first WTF file, and it's Sony. So probably won't be the last for them. I'm sure, give it 5 more minutes and Microsoft will do something equally as stupid. So for next week, it'll be WTF goes to Microsoft. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Nintendo will show its head. They haven't done anything in forever. That's why we don't talk about Nintendo, because they just rake in money. They're boring.
I would love to talk about Switch 2 right now, but they just don't say anything.
They're sitting on it. Yeah, they're sitting
just sit on it like, just wait.
They're just waiting. Just wait. Yeah, just wait. Wait till you squeeze out those last sales of the Switch. So, but anyway, so hopefully that will change. I'm expecting that probably Monday or sometime in this week they're going to lift that, and they're just going to say, screw it.
Oops.
It's not worth. Right. We don't want to lose the money. And everything's going to go back to normal. And hats off to Arrowhead for at least having a little bit of dignity and for their community and for their customers, the people that they make these games for. I wish other developers would do that. I wish other developers would look at this like, hey, we're making this for you. If you don't like it this way, then what can we do to improve it?
Yeah. And it also shows that like developers are not the ones to go after.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make the games, they make the content, and they make the things that we like. When it comes to crappy business decisions, that just comes from the top.
Well, okay then. We talked about that last week. It's not always from the top. We always thought Bungie was. We always thought Activision was like, God, what are they doing to Bungie, man? They're turning them into just a big store and microtransactions, blah 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 blah. And what happened when they got away from Activision? It got worse. Yeah, Guess what? Maybe it wasn't Activision.
No, but I mean, there's still people from the top of Bungie though. Like the actual developers themselves are saying, like, just the developers.
I see what you're saying. You're just saying like the top of the top, or just across the board. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just the developers, because people have always like call out developers. It's not developers' fault. They're following orders that they're being told to do.
Yeah. Don't go out there and try to dock somebody that is working on like the loot system in a game. That's they have nothing to do with the microtransactions and whatnot. Yeah, you're right. It's the higher ups. So yeah, man, I hate that. But I honestly think this will get better. It's got to get better. How could it get worse? So we'll
see next week.
Yeah, next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about how it's a nothing burger and everything's peachy. Everything's great. So anyway, let's move on to this next one. And this is kind of a big one. Xbox announced their showcase for June. And what I wanted to do is kind of go over a couple of things, what we are expecting from this showcase, because it is now May. It's the 1st of May. And in about a week or two, we're going to start seeing some really stupid rumors, which will get dumber and dumber the closer we get to June. So I kind of wanted to lay out what maybe what we think is going to come. And then I have a list of stuff that you're not going to see, maybe. But let's start with you. What do you think is going to pop up at this showcase?
Well, I think it's been semi-confirmed or hinted at that we'll see Gears. Next Gears game.
Yeah, I think they have said that. I think Coalition said you will see something Gears related in June. So
that's something I'm really looking forward to, because I really like 5. And,
I did too.
So that's something I'm looking forward to. I have like different releases this year from Microsoft. I can't remember. Like, they've got Flight Sim, they've got Avowed, they've got
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones.
Yep.
They're showing the next Call of Duty off.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a load of other little titles that I can't think of right now. But yeah, the big thing actually for me was the fact they have a Call of Duty conference. I know they own Activision now, but
Right.
the fact that they can just have Call of Duty there shows that that Sony don't have any marketing this year.
Yeah.
So that must have gone. So now they can just put everything on Game Pass later this year, and I'll say Call of Duty 2024 day one on Game Pass.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't, but I hope you're right. Because after the last one, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to buy another one. God, that was terrible.
Well, I just don't want to pay for COD again.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I think so too. I think they're gonna lay heavily on what they've already shown. I think we're gonna get release dates for Indiana Jones and Avowed, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all supposed to come out this year. So.
Right. Yeah, they have stated that it's going to come out this year. But I think that let's see. I think we're going to get a Gears something announcement. I'm not saying it's 6. We know they're working on 6, but I'm not positive 6 is something that's going to come out like next year or the year after. I'm gonna throw this out there and say that Gears 6 is gonna be like a launch title for the next console.
Oh, I hope not.
I do too, but especially since I'm on PC, I want to
Yeah. I would hope between the next 2 years. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Between like 25
well,
and
I mean,
26.
honestly, they've hinted at possibly a new console by 2026. So that could fall into place. They could give them that much time to do it, which would be a hell of a showcase for graphically for a new console. Because I mean 6, I mean 5 itself. If anybody says anything about like the Xbox done it, blah 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 blah, I show them. Look at Gears 5. Yeah, that looks awesome. Oh, okay, yeah, it does look awesome. Came out on Xbox One. Yeah, so
yeah.
Those guys know the Unreal Engine, and they can really pump out some really good looking stuff on it. So that would be a good title to do that. But I think I've said this before. I think they're going to do a Gears collection. I think that's going to come out before Gears 6. I think it's going to be on Xbox.
It would be really good to have.
Yeah,
we keep hearing rumors of the Gears collection.
We've been asking for it for years, with new multiplayer servers and. The entire collection. It doesn't have to be completely redone like the first one. I think Gears 3 still looks good, but some touch up, some frame rate stuff, maybe some more modern control feel, especially on the mouse and keyboard side, and then for PC, for Xbox, and it's probably going to be for PS5.
I don't know about the PS5. I don't know. Everyone keeps going on about.
No, I think it would be perfect. That would be perfect. You get the entire collection on PS5. You could start with Gears 1. There's no way you would want to put Gears 6 at launch on a completely different platform with no reference at all to anything previously. You can do it by all means. You're physically able, but that would be really crappy. It's like, here's a game. There's 6. Like, who is this? What is that? Who is it? If they had,
to be fair, that's happened before.
It has, yeah. But it's just what. Titanfall 2, Titanfall 1 was a Xbox exclusive. Titanfall 2 went on everything. Not that it was a direct sequel, but it's definitely had it's set up the universe and what you did and what was going on and what kind of war and all that kind of stuff. Call of Duty 2 was on console. It was on 360, but the first one was previously on PC only. So you can do it in certain instances, but for Gears, I think you have to have that context from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a continuing story. Hopefully this will end this story arc of these characters, and they'll move something, later. But if you put that on PC and PS5, at launch for a Gears collection, I think it would be great for people to get to experience
PC definitely deserves it, because I think
yes, absolutely. 2 and 3 aren't even on PC.
Yeah, they're not on PC, as I say. So
Jerks.
I think that would make a lot of sense if they did remaster them.
Yeah, I would love to play that. All just I could do this right now. I could play all of them in order and just have a blast with it. But I would play 1 on PC, 2 and 3 on console. Skip Judgment altogether. Play 4 and 5 on PC, and then it's just a little disconnected. But we're not. We can't discount Gears Tactics as well. It could be a Gears Tactics 2, which would be really disappointing. I mean, not that that's not a bad game. It's just not. I didn't enjoy it. I would. That would be like, what did they do for Gears 5? They showed there was like supposed to be this big announcement, and they were just announcing the what is it? The pop. What are they called?
Gears Pop.
Yeah, the Gears characters, and I was like, oh, come on, man. But then later in the show, they showed Gears 5. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, I think this is what I hope is going to happen, is going to be the collection. They're going to have a little teaser for 6, and it's going to say like 2026 or something like that on it. I could be wrong.
I hope 6 comes out sooner, but that's just my hope.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? That they'll tease all these Gears stuff, and then June 9th comes around. Gears Pop remastered.
Right. Oh God. No thanks. No.
Sorry, internet.
That would be terrible. Yeah, there's nothing worse than watching an hour and a half of a show going, oh, the next one's going to be this game I want. No, that's not. Yeah. The next one's going to be this game I want. Oh, that's it. They said that the show's over, so they're going to announce this last one, and they did, and it's not the game I wanted. And there you go. So, yeah, that's the Gears collection for me, like every year since I don't know, 2019. But so again, I'm throwing it in there. I'm trying to, manifest it out of the universe, put it in there, make it happen. That's what you got to do. But yeah, I think there's going to be obviously some Call of Duty stuff. I think there'll be, Rod Ferguson will probably come out and talk about Diablo again. Even though I've heard that he doesn't really even do anything there. I'm hoping that id Software shows what they are working on. I really want to know if they're making another Doom, if they're making a Quake, if they're making something entirely new. I want to see what they're doing. And I hope they show
a new
that.
Doom would be apt for them as well. So
a new Doom would be good, but given Quake, like the Doom treatment they did in 2016, like just completely, modernize it and make it like a horror shooter with just jaw-dropping graphics and oh man, okay, I'm gonna stop right there because I'm already getting excited, and I don't want to get disappointed again. It's probably not going to be a Commander Keen. They still own that? They probably own that. Commander Keen remastered. Anyway, yeah, that's pulling way back. You probably don't even know who that is. That was that was their first game. Yeah. Okay. So, Indie, Avowed, probably South of Midnight. We're going to see release dates.
Yeah.
And Exiles is working on what is it? Steam something, the RPG. It looks really good, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think that's going to go into next year. I
would like to see more Fable, even if it's next year. Just show us a Fable, new Fable, anything, please.
Yeah, something, anything, some gameplay, anything. But it's. You can't show a game too much. You can't keep teasing a game.
It's always difficult. It's a difficult balance.
Yeah.
Like these games, we don't know anything.
Right. I mean, like Avowed. They showed it, in January? Is that when we got the last? Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then June, and then if they don't give a release date on that, or I don't know, drop it, that would be great. Oh, and it's available to play right now. Holy cow, that would be. I don't know.
No, actually, that would be something else as well. Would you think there'll be a surprise drop at the show? Doesn't matter what it is.
I think it's possible if they show something new, like they did with Hi-Fi Rush. We didn't know Hi-Fi
Yeah.
Rush existed. Nobody had even seen this thing and knew about it. And then all of a sudden, hey, here it is. Hey, that looks really cool, and you can play it right now. What? Bam! Yeah,
Yep.
that's how you do that. Now, as far as like Avowed or South America or something like that, no, I don't think they'll actually do that. I would love for them to, but I don't think they will. But it is possible that they would do that for a smaller title, indie title. But I also think that they're going to probably. We haven't heard anything from Forza Horizons. I think we're going to get a trailer for that.
And
Uh,
maybe.
yeah, I'm sure a couple of unannounced games that we don't know about that they'll hint for the next 3 to 4 years. Jeez. Uh, yeah, but I also have a little list of what we're not going to see, and Fable's one of them. I don't think we're going to see anything about Fable. I don't think we're going to see anything um, about Halo or anything new of Halo. I don't think that's even close to being talked about.
What do you think about where Halo is right now? Because obviously they're just doing infinite updates, and it's actually good. It's actually really good.
It's
Infinite.
in a really good state. It is. Yeah.
But so I don't know when a next Halo entry would be, or if they just keep building off Infinite right now.
I think that my prediction is that next year Infinite will be done. We'll get like two or three more seasons, and then they'll say we're moving on to the next game. I think that we're going to see a Halo probably earlier than we think, because Max Hoberman's team at Certain Affinity have been working on something Halo for several years, and now they are now collaborating with 343. So I'm thinking that probably whatever they were working on is 343 are joining them and making something bigger, better, and out sooner. So they can kind of just get away from. I think that they need to. I think they've rebooted their studio. To be honest, I think that they put what's his name, Javier. I forget his last name, but soon as Bonnie Ross was out, he reversed some things that she did immediately, and then since that day, the seasons in Infinite has gotten infinitely better, pun intended. So I think that maybe under his leadership that they've kind of rebooted everything and they're going into a new direction. I hope so. I hope that for them and for just the Halo franchise, which I'm a huge fan of. I would hate to, take all my Halo stuff in the backyard and burn it like I did my Star Wars stuff. Thanks, Disney. So I think we're going to see that, but I don't think they're going to show anything in June. I don't think they want to talk about Halo. I don't think they want to draw attention to it. We may see something of like, hey, there's a new season for Halo Infinite. Next trailer, right? I think, yeah. Nothing from State of Perfect Dark. I don't think we'll see anything from that studio for a couple of years. I think they're going to purposefully not talk about it again. Just nothing. And then State of Decay 3, that has been. We got a teaser in 2019 for that.
Yeah.
And it was 5 years ago. We haven't seen anything. They haven't said anything. The guy that invented State of Decay, that was his baby. He left. So I think that has probably been scrapped and rebuilt. And we're not going to see anything on that either. So again, hope I'm wrong on all this stuff. This is just my, perceptions of looking at the gaming industry on a daily basis since I was a wee lad. Yeah. So I think that's pretty solid. hopefully, there's going to be some surprises, some little stuff, maybe some big stuff. I think they're going to maybe show that new controller that was leaked last year.
Yeah, suppose new controller. Yeah.
Yeah, and possibly that Series X that is discless and dropping it to $399 or $349. $349 would be even better, but
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah, just for Series X. Yeah. Not
yeah, I
everyone's
know,
clamoring
right?
for
Yay, it's yeah, but it's new stuff, and then I think that'll be it. So yeah, anything you want to add to that?
I think that's it until we maybe find out more.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy here
Yeah,
real
the
soon.
next room is gonna.
It's gonna be like
the
they're not.
rumor
Yeah,
mill will churn out everything.
yeah. I can't wait for all the PlayStation fans to be like, they're gonna announce that they're going full third party. Everything, their whole title is going
Microsoft
to,
just announced the PlayStation 6/Xbox.
right. Yeah. Jeez. So yeah, it'll get strange. And I told you that like their handheld is rumored to possibly be out this year, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
There's a lot more like resurfaced news about the handheld going about,
Yeah.
like surveys, and so they're definitely up to something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of like the idea of it not being an Xbox marketed device, but more of a Surface. I mean, I think that's cool because if you go into a retail store, if you can find one, if any of them are still left, I go to Best Buy every once in a while, and at Best Buy the ROG Ally is in the PC section because it's a handheld PC. It's not across the store in the consoles. It's a PC. So if you had that, next to Microsoft's Surface, which all their Surfaces are right in the same department, it kind of makes sense for it to be there. With that being said, I'm not sure that's something that they would announce under that Xbox banner, maybe? I don't know. That's curious. I'll just have to wait for that one. I don't know. When we start speculating about the next Xbox, we're getting way in the weeds there, so we have no idea. I mean, they could announce they're not making another console. Who knows? And all of their games and Game Pass is now available on PlayStation 5. Wow, talk about disrupting the market. So anyway, okay.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to do like a handheld PC like that, probably I would get like a store, stick like Xbox in one bit and PC and like put in between.
Yeah, like a new. Well, I mean, that's not a bad idea, Liam. I mean, if you've got, okay, so we got the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, the Lenovo Legion, and then MSI made one, and even though everybody says it's terrible, but you got 4 there. You got a slew of accessories. You're right. That constitutes a new department. So you got a new department there in a retail store. So that's where you would drop your Microsoft handheld, not over by the Xbox. You would want it right there. So if you're going to put it right there, why would you put Xbox on it and put Surface on it?
I would just like to see if they do follow through with the whole Xbox and PC together, because they were talking about like, what if the Xbox had the PC store on Steam?
Yeah.
If they can make it handheld that does both,
right?
Maybe that could be a way forward.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of where the narrative is going. Is that if this next Xbox is going to have a handheld component, what if they're both basically PCs? There's something wrong with that, and I haven't figured it out yet. In my brain, I haven't figured out what the problem is with that. It sounds great, but at the same time, there is a market for people that buy consoles because they absolutely do not want to hassle with a PC.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we buy consoles after all.
Well, that and they're
I mean,
cheaper. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
they're cheaper, more
yeah,
convenient. They've always been plug and play. Obviously, different
right.
now slightly, but yeah, consoles was always that entry point to gaming, and you can just have your box and play it.
Right. But this is I said that for a reason. They're cheaper, but are they? They used to be cheaper. Okay, a console is $500 right now, right? If you want to play multiplayer games, you got to pay at least $12 a month or $11 a month on either one of them. Okay. The games that you buy on the PlayStation, you can only get them from the PlayStation Store. So they set the pricing. The games are $70 longer than anybody else. On Xbox, it's the same way, but they do allow you to buy keys online. So you can actually buy a CD key for a digital game at another website at a discount. And you can also buy the cards, the digital cards in retail stores. So you can buy them at different places. However, you're still locked to that ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay. On PC, you may have to spend a little bit more than $500 for a PC. To get a gaming PC that is equivalent to a PS5 or a Xbox Series X right now is about $700 or a little under, and probably will still outperform it. Okay. But the games, you have multiple stores for a PC, which means if something's on sale on Good Old Games and it's still $70 on Steam, you have the option of buying it somewhere else and getting a discount. Games on PC primarily go on sale or drop in price a lot quicker than console. So if something comes out and you're really interested in it, just wait a couple of months. It'll be probably half price. So if you buy a couple of games and you play a bunch of, say, free-to-play games online, you have already saved money, whereas on the console, you're not saving any money. You're invested in that, and you're having to pay them monthly for their fees. Now, Xbox does offer a better value with Game Pass because you're paying monthly for Game Pass, but you're also getting all these free games. So that does help. But you can pay a little bit less, and you can have that on PC as well. So this is where I'm going. If you've got an Xbox, you got the new Xbox, and you can play Steam games on it, and it is essentially like a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, where it is a PC and a console. Then it's not a console. Consoles are dead. They're gone. If Sony just makes a console and is missing out on that, then we could see a giant shift in that market share if they do that. So if Microsoft came out with the next Xbox and it was basically a PC, but you could plug it up to your TV and use a controller, would you still get it?
I mean, the issue I have, and I've probably said it before, is if I want to go to another platform, if I want to go to a PlayStation, if I want to go to Nintendo, or if I want to go on PC,
yeah,
PC maybe a little bit, but because you have Microsoft games in the cross-buy, but my library is Xbox. My library isn't PC.
okay,
And although consoles and PC, you probably spend the same amount overall, but people just buy consoles because they're cheaper at first.
yeah,
And then they pay everything. But people don't like to pay, I don't know, £1,000 up front or $2,000 or whatever. If you want to like the best, people don't like spending that much up front. So you build your library over time.
yeah,
From a console. And now it's at a point where it's like, yeah, there are games on PC, sure. But my library is on Xbox. Even if Xbox games went to PlayStation, I can't just go to PlayStation and have my games.
right.
So they're still in that ecosystem. So I think Microsoft would have to break that somehow.
Well, you would still be playing Xbox games on it. It would have an Xbox front end. It has to. You can't call it an Xbox if you can't play, Halo 1 on it.
Yeah, but like if
But
they want to sort of blur between PC and console, I think
yeah,
I don't know how it would work. Honestly, when they
yeah,
were
I don't
talking about
either.
like
That's what I'm.
having it on there,
I think
because
it.
my games are Xbox games, they're not Steam.
Well,
You
keep in
know,
mind though that you have the option of playing Steam. Now, when I went to PC from console, from playing primarily on Xbox, and I went to PC. You're right. My library didn't just show up on my PC. Now, anything that I bought that was Microsoft or anything that I got uh, that was also available on PC that was first party was available to me. So
that
when
was
I
which is good. And Microsoft have
right,
that
yeah, exactly.
going for
Because
them.
if you bought it here, it's there, and that's that Play Anywhere thing. Um, but yeah, a lot of games that were third party, um, Elden Ring. I didn't just it just didn't show up on my PC. You have to go buy it again. You know. Fortunately, I only paid like I got it on like a super sale and paid I think it was like $28 for it when it went on sale. But I had to buy it again. So, and Phil Spencer said that not too long ago. He's talking about the Xbox One. They really screwed up the Xbox One in that generation because that's the generation when people started building a digital library, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's what platforms now are, is just a place for your digital games. So, and even with Microsoft going third party on some of those games, um, if you're on PlayStation or if you moved from Microsoft to PlayStation, it's you still have to buy it on their store again.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like I own it, but I still have to buy it again.
yeah. Like you want to play Sea of Thieves, you've been playing it for years. Well, it when you buy it on PlayStation and then log into your Xbox account, all your stuff's there, but you still have to buy it again. Um, so yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. I don't know what that would do for the console market in general if the consoles are now just PCs. I mean, we know that they are in a way. I mean, they develop these things on PCs and then just port them over,
Yeah,
and it
but
makes
to
development.
have PC markets would be very different. Yeah.
Um, well, I think they would just be combined. You know, you got like
I mean,
1.8 billion people playing PC games.
yeah.
That is just think about that for a second. That is astronomical to Sony's what 70 million or whatever they PlayStation 5s they've got out there, or I don't know what the numbers are, but it sure ain't 1.8 billion. Um, so it's they've got to be looking at that, and there's got to be a way to maybe integrate that, but I just don't know what it is. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. I only got like a third grade education, so
No, I think time will tell.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll get
2026. I mean, they
yeah.
say 2026, a lot of rumors, but I would like for it just to be the whole generation 2028.
Really? Why not 2026?
Just seems early, because like we haven't got going in terms of like just games.
Liam, your console's doing 30 FPS, bro. I mean,
I
new
don't
games
care.
that are
I'm a
coming
console.
out, it's like 30 FPS. What?
Yeah,
You need a new
I'm a
console, man.
I'm a console player. I don't care.
I know, but I'm
Um,
saying it's like it's
yeah,
technology is moving faster than these consoles are updating. You
yeah.
know?
This generation just felt. Well, I mean, it's not the generation's
Yeah.
or world's fault, but we had such a bad start to the fucking 2020s. So
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean,
um,
everything got off to these things weren't available, and it seemed like when they were available, there wasn't much to play on them.
uh,
And Sony is just remake and remaster and a remake and remaster.
yeah,
And
I'm getting
Microsoft's
tired of
like,
Sony. So
yeah, and then Microsoft's like, hey, look, we got like 6 million studios, but we release 2 games a year. Like what?
yeah,
Like,
that's
what's
what I mean.
going on?
I want the games to come out before the next hardware. It's what I want. I don't care if it runs poorly
Yeah, I
in
get that. Yeah,
comparison to in comparison, because I mean technology is always going to advance. I
yeah,
want the games to come out. They've been teasing for 5 years.
exactly. Right. And that's the problem. Look at all these studios we got, and look at the games they're working on, and everybody's like going, "Hey, that's super. Where are they?"
Yeah.
At least Sony's like dropping stuff, even though if it's a remake or a remaster or something. I mean, it's
I mean, Sony don't have anything really in the pipeline either.
no,
But
not at all.
um,
Unless it's on
yeah,
Insomniac.
all the games are like the third party deals,
Yeah.
which should do very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of first party, I'm pretty sure Chloe said like don't expect anything big this year.
Yeah, I think that I think Xbox is going to do good this year as far as their releases. I think Sony's really going to hurt. I think this year's really going to hurt them. I think they know that. But I mean, if you're only on PlayStation, there is still there's going to be games coming out that are third party and AAA. I mean, I'm sorry, AA titles, indie titles that will fill those gaps. There's always good games to play. There's always stuff. You just got to look for it. I'm playing a game right now that's on early access on Steam called No Rest for the Wicked, and it's from Moon Studios, the guys that did Ori.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So and it's early access, but they kind of remind me of Arrowhead Studios. The CEO goes on Twitter and he's like, "Hey, this is what's going on. Okay, this is what early access means, and this is what you're getting with early access. So as long as you know that, you're getting the game at a discounted price until it reaches version 1.0.
Yep.
But here's where you leave feedback, and you kind of get in on tweaking the game, like what works, what doesn't." And it's really cool to see. It's not a bare bones game at all. You can play it right now. It's a full featured game, but it is missing a couple of features. I mean, not full feature. Full. It's a full game, just missing some things like you can't change your like controller keys or your keyboard keys. Just little stuff like that. But you can completely play it all the way through. But it's interesting to see like their feedback and the community's feedback on this works, this doesn't. You can change that. And Sony doesn't allow that. Sony doesn't allow you to have like an early access. Microsoft does.
No. It's quite a lot of people say like, where's this about Power World? Yeah.
Yeah, Power World's like in their early access on Xbox as well. And you know that. And I think Sea of Thieves did the same thing. They were kind of like in an early access period until it ultimately came out on... it came out and then immediately went to Game Pass. But
I mean, they were alphas. They weren't like game previews of it.
Was it not released before? Like, didn't it have a early access? Maybe it didn't.
No, that had betas and things. Not
okay. Okay. Well, regardless, it's really cool to see the development of that, and especially a studio that's very, very in touch with their community.
Yeah.
It's like one guy's like, "Hey, the mouse cursor is just plain. It really doesn't like go with the game and look like it's supposed to be there." And the guy was like, "I absolutely agree. We are currently working on a new one." Just little stuff like that. Like, hang tight. And they've been updating this thing fairly well. They're adding co-op. They're adding AI scaling eventually, and so it's a $35 game. It's not a AAA title. I'm gonna tell you, it's not the next Dark Souls. It's not the next whatever, but it's something new and it's something from a smaller studio, and I'm having a blast with it. And there's a lot of games like that I'm finding that I have a lot of fun with it. And it's not that big mega blockbuster AAA game that, you play for 5 minutes and then have a 5-minute movie, then play for 5 minutes and 5-minute movie, So as far as like this year and going into next year, if you're on PlayStation, just look for stuff to play. There's stuff out there that you're probably going to have a lot of fun with. It may end up being your favorite game. Who knows? So just get outside of your, Ragnaroks and Last of Us and Spider-Mans and all that stuff.
Yeah, might be an Xbox game. Who knows?
Might be Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is good.
Yeah.
I love games that are like, here's some stuff, here's some tools, here's a place. Get your friends, make your own stories. Don't pull me along in this narrative that some writer made that may or may not be good. So, but anyway, that's my AA rant. But yeah, I mean that's a good hefty dose of stuff going on in the industry this week. Some of it good, some of it bad. But I think that's just the way it goes. And I'm looking for an update before we leave on this. Yeah, it looks like it's confirmed. Steam is getting refunds to the people that bought it in those areas that are affected by the Helldivers 2 calamity. So if you live in that area or a region that you can't create an account, Steam's going to honor you. Man, Steam's awesome. It's just...
Yeah, they do have one of the best refund policies.
They do, man. They do. So, yeah, that's awesome. And if they fix it, you can just buy it again and keep playing, which is probably exactly what they're going to do. So, anyway, man, I think that's it for the week. I'm exhausted. I'm drained. From all the excitement. So, yeah. So we'll be back next week, and we'll see what happens this week, and hopefully give an update on Helldivers 2 that's positive. And I'm going to play a little bit more of Starfield and go through these patch notes and see what maybe some little surprises in there. And so, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that you're going to be playing a little bit more Diablo 2, right? I mean, sorry, Diablo 4. God, I've been thinking about Diablo 2 all day.
Yeah, Diablo 4, just getting the rest of the season stuff done and waiting for that update.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go play some Diablo 2. I've been thinking about it all day. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, well, we're out this week. Join us next time. And again, if you want to be a guest host, it's graybeardgamingcast@gmail.com. Just drop us a line and let us know.